keep these wheels in motion. In motion. needed was love, but that was never enough. No, never enough. 'Cause you were chasing your dreams, now you can't redeem yourself. You were chasing your dreams, now you can't redeem yourself. Disregarding your name, your smell is all that remains. They say you're an SLUT, but that doesn't sit well with me. It doesn't sit well with me. We're all looking to be alone. And somehow, someday, we'll find what we're looking for. Till then, you'll still be a boy.
Good evening, race fans. I'm Pirate here, Black Flag Racing TV, and this is the first of what I hope will be a really cool series. This is Black Flag Gauntlet, and this is the way that Gauntlet works: is nobody knows what car, what track they're going to be using. We start here, which is Northern Ireland Speedway. Northern Ireland Speedway. Can't even say it. In a minute, I will do a randomizer. That will give us a car class, it will give us a track, it will give us tyre and fuel conditions, and we will then go racing for 20 minutes. First race will be from a hot lap quali, and then the rest of the other two races, both 20 minutes as well, both randomised, will be from reverse grid type scenario. It's really that simple. So I think the quickest thing we should do is go straight into getting this roll done. So there we go. I just have to press one button and it tells us what the settings are going to be. They're going to have very little time to practice. So without further ado, let's get this spinning, shall we? And the randomizer has given us GR4 at the high speed ring, tyre wear 1, fuel wear 5, weather S09, and evening time of day. So I should get straight into getting that lobby set up, shall we? Talk amongst yourselves while I do the setting up of the lobby. Edit event settings. So we are where? We're at the high speed ring. Full course. Oh, reverse. Helps if I get that one right, doesn't it? Where's it gone? High speed ring. Full course reverse. Time limit is endurance race. It'll be 20 minutes. Preset weather will be SO9. Equal conditions mode is off. Time of day into evening. I'm going to leave variable time speed at ×1. It is a grid start with full start check, fastest first this time out. Tyre wear is ×1, fuel is ×5. Everything else stays the same. Qualifier settings. What is this? 3-minute lap, and it's still go 5 minutes. That should be, well, sorry, it's a 1.5 minute lap. So yeah, 3 minutes should be plenty of time to get qualified. Continuation time will be, let's just go there. Right, I think we're done. You can use any tyres you like. It doesn't really matter. I'm not specifying a tyre type. Just need to change the car type, which is gone. There it is. GR4. Boom shanker. Alright, here we go. Grid is set. We're going to get straight into qualifying. So as everyone ticks in, of course. Should be an interesting one, this. We've got, what, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13 runners tonight. I'm looking forward to this, actually, really looking forward to this. Just need everyone to tick in. Come on, tick, tick, tick. They're all going off and picking their cars, trying to find the perfect car for this. Let's get me topped up, shall we? I'm drinking out of a glass because I've got new teeth today. I don't want to fuck my teeth up. I'm also using a straw like a big gay boy. So what's everyone using? So Stormfly, Wiggy, they've both gone for the Viper. TJ with a TT Cup, that's an interesting choice. So it's Aussie. Viper also 4 Grid Troopers. 458 Italian for Avon, I'm not surprised. Middle engine, rear wheel drive. GMAC with a Mustang. Manx has gone for that 458 as well. Bandit with a Viper. Willard's gone for the McGann Trophy. 155 for Rob. Everyone's ticked in. We are indeed ready to go. Good luck, everybody. Oh, I'm really looking forward to this. This is going to be awesome. Oh, no. Where's Aussie? Aussie ticked out last minute. What did he do? He was ticked in and then he changed his mind. Why have we lost people? What's going on? Oh, well, we started qualifying now, so there's not a lot we can really do. I don't know why they disappeared out of the room when they did. I'm assuming there was some sort of problem, but they were ticked in. Good evening, Jason. How you doing? Hopefully those two come back. I don't know what happened, but we lost them. They have rejoined the room. As I started the lobby as well. So here we go. This is qualifying for race number 1. The settings were as we saw. It's high-speed ring in reverse. 20 minutes. It's one hot lap quali, and then we get straight into it. GR4 cars, it's times 1 on the fuel, times 1 on the tyres, times 4 or 5 on the fuel. Manx and Aussie, if anyone's talking to them, just tell them to jump in the room and they can start from wherever. I don't know what happened with them and how they disappeared. They were ticked in when I pressed the button. It wasn't an intentional thing to get rid of them. Yeah, I wasn't trying to get rid of them at all. They were ticked in when I started the race. I don't know what happened. Hopefully they can get it sorted. So one hot lap qualifying, they've got time for an out lap, and then they've got time to do the actual lap. It looks like Max might be having some problems now. I think he was using VR tonight, so I'm wondering if that has caused him some problems, and he's not able to get going with the VR. That could be. Oh, was it? Yeah, I thought it was Max that was asking about the VR right now. So I think that could be a problem. Maybe he's having an issue with the VR, so he's going to have to get the normal screen sorted out. So here we go. This is the quali lap. Wiggy went out first. He's in that Viper, looking to set a super solid time straight off the bat. And the great thing about this little format is that you're not practicing tracks, you're not practicing cars, you're not practicing tactics. They're basically revealed to you immediately. You get out there and you just crack on. There's no time for practice. You just just get out, have some fun, have a race and see how it fares. And I quite like the idea of that, in that it kind of levels the playing field a little bit. Is that some people are better at some tracks than others, some people are better with some cars than others, some people are suited to better tyre and fuel wear than others. And you don't have time to kind of adapt your driving style to what's on offer. You just kind of get on with what you're handed and see how that fares for you. As you're listening, Jason, can you tell me how are the sound levels, buddy? Are they better? Are they working well? Hope they are. Right, so Wiggy first across the line, 1:16.9 for him. Stormfly left the room. Is there an issue with the lobby that I need to know about? If there is, then someone should probably drop me a message. I've seen nothing so far on Discord to suggest otherwise. If there's a problem, guys, send me a message either in chat here or... Alright, so everyone's asking for a restart. Let's do that then. Let's exit. Right, I'm going to exit completely. Let me save the settings first. Save settings. Oh, I want to save it there. Now, why can't I do it like that? Why can't I just do that? Oh yeah, okay, overwrite this one. So I'm going to restart the lobby. There we go. Well, teething problems from the outset. There we go. Create room. Load settings. Professionalism personified. New fresh room starting. Love it when it's when it's not going well. Right, so new lobby up. Hopefully it'll all jump in. Just let them know on Discord. Boom Shanker. They should all join in, and then we can start again and solve whatever problem there was. Might as well change my car while we're waiting to something a little less GR3-ish. Yeah, so essentially this is a 5-race series. We're going to give it a try over the next 5 weeks to see how it works out. And the whole idea is to kind of coincide with the end of the GR3 as well. So when we do start a new GR4, it coincides with the start of GR3, and we kind of merge the two. They're still going to be on Wednesday and Monday and Wednesday, but they're essentially going to be a kind of twofold competition where you've got your individual GR4 and your individual GR3. That won't change, but you'll also have a sort of manufacturer's content between the two. So if you're just racing in the one, you do what you want to do. If you're racing in both, then it essentially becomes a manufacturer series as well. So you race the same car in both series, and then we'll kind of see how it turns out. That's the plan. Whether it actually goes that way, it could be that this proves to be so popular that we just continue with Gauntlet and we ditch one or the other, but we'll see. So I think we've got everybody back. Hopefully this time, touch wood. Who are we missing? I think we're missing one person. TJ's in, G-Max in, Manx is in, Bandit's in, Willard is in, Hayden Graham, Grizz is in, clear to go, Rob is in, Wiggy's in, Patrick is in, Ozzy's in. Who is missing? I can't remember who we're missing. Is that Grizz? No, Grizz Trips is there. Oh, it's Aaron. Is Aaron coming back? Good question. Is Aaron coming back? That's the question I should be asking. Let's see. Yes, I get minus 2 million points for the rage quit. There he is. Right, and we can go again with the same settings. They're all getting a cheeky little practice in, which they shouldn't be, but it is what it is. Right, Stormflies just need them to tick in, and then we can get cracking again. We're going to have teething problems. It's a brand new concept. So we'll see how it goes. Right, is he ticked in? Right, I'm going to start it this time and see how we get on. There we go. Start qualifying. Everyone's ticked in. No one has left. We're doing the countdown. This time it looks like it's working. Yes, congratulations. Right, here we go. Let's go again. Qualifying time times 2. So remember, we're only qualifying for the first race, 20-minute race after this, and then it will be reverse grid for the next 2 races. Of course, we will have very different cars. We might have exactly the same car and track. That's the beauty of the randomizer. It would be crazy if the same track and car came out and the same settings came out for race number 2, considering the options available. Every single track on GT7 is programmed in this game, in every single connotation, and the reverse ones obviously in reverse or whatever as well. You know, it's any GR1, 2, 3 or 4 car. I have got all the cars in the list. I haven't got all the cars in the list. I've put most of the cars in the list. I've still got some to add to it. But because we're not doing individual cars, it's not so much of a big deal. Obviously, the big deal at the moment is getting the drivers to stay in the lobby and do some qualifying. It'd be a great start. So High Speed Ring in reverse. It's a complicated track in reverse, to be fair, or much more complicated than it is the other way around, anyway. And the reason it's complicated really is because the braking zones are vastly different. You know, whereas you see here, and we'll go on more about it now. You see that you've got the pits on the right hand side here. This turning he's coming up to, you would ordinarily come round this absolutely flat out at the end of the lap. But here, as you turn in, you've just got to you can still go flat, but you're kind of dropping down the gears as you go through the corner and slowing the car down. Ordinarily you wouldn't do that in the other connotation, which just shows how this track evolves in the opposite direction. Again here, it's a much slower corner coming this way than it is going in the other direction. And again here, that's the same kind of speed in reverse. Although again, it's all about catching and really catching apex well there, to be fair. This is the outlap, while this is the first fast lap actually. And again here, just clipping the wall, that's going to scrub some speed off. That's scrubbing loads of speed off. That's going to cost him plenty of time. So, pole. Who is going to get themselves on pole? And the Dodge Vipers are really awesome cars, to be fair. I'd never really given it much stock because in GT Sport, I wasn't a big fan of it. But on GT7, I found it to be a brilliant motor car. And when I get the opportunity to drive, which isn't very often anymore, when I do get the opportunity to drive, I am going to give it a crack. Okay, so Bandit sets the stall with a 1:17.8. And straight away that gets beaten Wiggy with a 17.2, a 17.0 for Aussie Rooster, and Aaron straight off the bat with a 1:16.3 to put himself on pole. Avalon chucks himself on that front row, 1:16.9 for him, and Aussie Rooster with a 1:17.0 in third. He drops Wiggy down to 4th place on row 2. Bandit with 1:17.8 on in 5th. Row 3 with Willard, who's done a 1:18.1. Grizz Troopers and GMAC on row 4. That's an 18.3 and an 18.4 respectively. And I think they're actually going to be able to squeeze in 2 hot laps. I should have made it a little bit longer and then they wouldn't have been able to. Manx 18.6. TJ with an 18.9. He's gone for cars he won. That's an interesting choice. He's gone for the Lamborghini. And Rob has gone for the, what's he in? That's not the Alpha, is it? This is definitely not the Alpha. I thought he was in the Alpha last time. He's in the Supra. So, any improvement? Has anyone improved their time? Doesn't look like it, no. So, oh yes, Wiggy does. Stormfly from Wiggy, Avalon from Rooster, Bandit from GMAC, Willard from Grizz Troopers, the Manxman from TJ. Actually, TJ just nicking it from Manxman, just dropping him down just by 1/10 of a second, and clear to go at the back of the pack. No time to think about what they're doing. I'm just going to go tyres, and then I'm going to hit it. So 20 minutes of racing here at the high-speed ring in reverse. And you know, the one thing I'm really looking forward to on this track is the complexity of difference between tracks. You know, we could be doing high-speed rigging now, and the next circuit could be again the GR4s, but on the Circuit de la Sarthe, or you know, some Quiz C or something insane like that. That's the beauty of it. Right, so here we go. They've had the time. If they haven't got the tyres now, too late, boy. Here we go. Let's get this race underway. So it's going to be 20 minutes, which is essentially going to be somewhere around probably about 15 or 16 laps around here in the opposite direction. It is reverse track, so it's a little bit slower, the reverse version of the track. Let's get all my race data up. This is a good thing as well. Actually, since they fixed the lobbies, we don't lose the views of the cars when they start, which we used to. We used to use the cinematic view. So there's 1, there's 2, there's 3, there's 4, there's 5 lights. They will go out, and we are racing. Stormfly leads out from Wiggy, from Avalon, from Aussie Rooster. Willard makes a move on Bandit up into 6th already. There's a little bit of change in that midfield. How safe are we into turn 1? Is it going to be carnage, or is everyone going to give each other a little bit of room? As we're watching Willard just losing out to GMAC, and Bandit with that inside line regains that place from Willard. Everyone's through safely. No one has died. Willard with a great move up into 5th. Maintaining that inside line on that next turn. So Stormfly leads the way. He's got Avalon and Wiggy tucked in behind him. In 3rd place is Wiggy at the moment. Aussie Rooster. He's gone for his tried and trusted Aston Martin. He loves that car. Loves a bit of British motoring. And he is in 4th place. He's got GMAC half a second behind him. And he must be absolutely seething because he's not in a Mazda. Usually he's in a Mazda. And right now he's not, and he doesn't know what to do with himself. Willard just behind him, really putting in a good solid shift in a minute, and real close racing there with Bandit at the moment. I think him and Bandit are having going to have some really good battles going forward. There is Grizz Troopers. He's in. Oh yeah, you would expect him to go for American Muscle, being our American driver, our prominent American driver. TJ half a second back. 1.1 seconds back to Manson. I had a great start in the 458, and then 1.2 seconds back to Rob, who might still be feeling the after effects of the party at TJ House yesterday in that Toyota. That's the Supra, isn't it? Of course it is. GR Supra, of course. Gazoo, GR standing for Gazoo Racing. Not to be confused with Kazoo Racing, where you blow a kazoo and see how many ducks you can chase. That's actually true, that's why it's called it. Right, so Stormfly leads the way at the moment. He's also in American Muscle. The box standard 46, box standard, it's what you expect to see on his cars, the 46 on the side there. Avalon just a 10th behind him, vying for a way through, but Wiggy not giving this up either. He's also in that Viper, very close between the front 4 at the moment, really battling it out. You've got Stormfly from Avalon from Wiggy, and then at the back of that little gaggle, you've got Aussie Rooster. Bandit and Willard not too far behind though. They're only 5th and 6th, and battling it out with Grizz Troopers as well. That's a really good battle. Grizz Troopers up into 6th place, and Bandit up into 4th. Aussie dropping down the order a little bit. It really is going off in this midfield. Loving to see these close battles. You don't often see it this close in the midfield of races, certainly not at this stage. I do want to remove that, because I think the cars look better without it. And look at this view, look at the battle going on ahead. We're currently on board with Aussie Rooster. That's behind, they've just opened up a little bit of a gap. You can see the 4 cars behind, just battling it out for 6th place. But this is currently the battle for the top 3. And you can see all of them still. We're on lap 3. We're already 3 minutes into this race, and you can already see these guys battling out. How you doing, Urban Fire? Good to see you, buddy. It's been a while. It's been some time actually. I don't think we've actually spoken since the brilliant fundraising event you guys did for cancer research. And yeah, it's good to see you, man. This is a new format we're trying out. You might want to check it out. It's I've built a GT7 randomizer. I did have one, but it was a little bit too complex for our needs. So what this does is essentially randomizes a car class. It randomizes one of the many tracks in these different connotations. It randomizes the tyre wear and the fuel wear and the time of day. And then basically they don't know what it's going to be. I click the randomizer and then I start the lobby. Simple as. And we do 3 races like that. So no one's got a chance to practice, no one's got a chance to think about tactics. They've just got to get on with whatever comes their way. But yeah, very good to see fire. One of the first people I met in GT7 Online in a lobby we were racing at. I want to say it's in Interlagos, but I could be mistaken. Maybe I remember. Anyway, so Wiggy takes the lead from Stormfly and currently just under half a second clear. He's got Stormfly still in behind him and he's battling out with Bandit. Bandit makes his way up into second place. I think I already love this tournament. I think I already love it. There are people you wouldn't ordinarily see in the top 3 fighting their way into the top 3. And you've got people that ordinarily you would expect there, like GMAC back in 8th. Absolutely love this shizzle. Stormfly running in 3rd place. And I love this little camera thing here. Look, watch this. So as you do that, it flicks to the next car. And then when it disappears, the next car comes into shot. You can do that. And it gives you the same shot coming round. So you can pick all the cars up in the shot. It's a lovely little touch they put in the camera modes that you can only get when the cars are running this close. It's really, really cool. So the top 5 clearly having one race. And then behind, this is the battle for 6th. You've got Willard in the GTR. He is battling out with Grizz Troopers and makes a lovely move up the inside with the slipstream. And that's the beauty of this track, the slipstream just... yeah, no, it is super close. Yeah, the slipstream here is just so strong. Yeah, I don't, to be fair, we were looking at sort of thinking of ideas or something, and someone said, you just pick the tracks, no one gets to practice, do that. And we kind of built that format from there and didn't really think much of it, but it's... I think it's going to prove to be quite popular. There's GMAC running in 8th place. He usually would be involved in that top 5 battle. Who is that facing the wrong way? That's someone definitely facing in the wrong direction. Was that clear to go? Who was it? That was Avalon Shadow. Avalon Shadow facing the wrong way. Listen, mate, you, where is it? I've lost it.
You can't park that there, mate. You can't park that there, mate.
Right, he's got his car sorted and he's back off again. So, it just goes to show how easy it is on a track like this to lose it. Fastest lap is with Wiggy. Initially, we had a very quick Stormfly on pole, and he's done a really good job out in front. But Wiggy, as the race settles down, 6 minutes into this race, he is now 1.3 seconds clear. And the great thing is, they're not going to need to change out their tyres, but because the fuel rate is ×5, they are going to have to refuel at some stage. Only started on half a tank of fuel, just to make sure that the fuel rate was sufficient. And for some reason, you've got 2 fastest laps showing up. That's because occasionally you get little bugs in these lobbies, which some are quite cool, most are quite annoying. Right, so it's Wiggy, leads from Bandit. That's American Muscle, British classic, absolute class in the Aston Martin, and proper motor racing car that is. 3.8 seconds now. Now Avalon's had his spin. Grizz Troopers now at best of the rest in American Muscle. American driver, American Muscle. What else would you expect? He's just outside the slipstream range of TJ. Well, I say that. TJ's just getting back inside. And anyone wants to see a good performance from this guy, watch the endurance race from Saturday. This guy got spun out early on and had to fight his way back through. And to come home second place in that race, I often call this guy a bellend and tell him he's a cock. But credit where it's due, and he's very, very good at sort of 1.5 hour, 2 hour endurance racing. Stormfly the first to blink, first into the pits. He's looking for some sort of undercut to see if that works for him, which is surprising actually, because usually the first person into the pits is GMAC, because he has no idea how to save fuel, and he goes for the old switcheroo on Manxman. But does he make it stick? Hell no, he doesn't. Manxman holds him off, and Manxman racing with his VR. I believe he's racing with his VR. I'd love to have a... It'd be nice if I could get like a little on board. I've got a thing I need to set up. I haven't set it up yet. So basically, if anyone has a mobile phone or a webcam, they don't have to have a webcam, they can do it from a mobile phone. They can send me back their picture, and I can include it in the stream. I've got a little way, but I haven't set it up yet. But I will be introducing that for, if I'm allowed, for GT Champions. Certainly we'll do it for GTFusion, and we'll do it definitely for a lot of Black Flag events. But I need a couple of days. I've got quite a big job on the minute, so I haven't really got time this week to set it up. But I will do it. It does look really cool. I gave it a little whirl the other day, just with my own webcam, and it does look really, really cool. I can kind of flick to a driver, and you can watch him struggling, him or her struggling with the car as they race along. So Wiggy is staying out for another lap. He's really pushing the limits of the fuel in that Viper. Everybody is pitting. G-Mac with medium tyres, which is why he stayed out longer. Manxman was on the hards, which is why he stayed out longer. Clear to go. He's on the soft compound tyres. He's managed to look after his tyres really well. Stormfly back out. He's gone back out on the soft. And Wazza joins us in the room, as he tends to do randomly during league races, even though he's been sent 18 invites now, I think, to Discord, and never once bothered to join after racing. But good to see you again, Wazza. We'll see what happens. Last time during racing, I think he rage quit after about 10 minutes. So yeah, no point. Anyway, moving on. Right, so Wiggy in the lead of this race. Avalon is in second. He stayed out as well. That's two of them that stayed out. Avalon, we saw him have a spin a couple of laps ago, which is not awesome. Particularly in this kind of short format, 20-minute kind of races. It's not like you've got a couple of hours to kind of change your tactic. But Wiggy goes into the pits. He's got a 28-second lead over Avalon and 38 seconds over Bandit. Bandit running really well in second. This could be the first Black Flag podium for Bandit. Aussie Rooster just outside that top three, and considering that his last potential podium for Black Flag was robbed off of him by a certain mouthy, bald, beardy commentator. Less said about that, the better. The video of that can be seen on the YouTube channel. It is horrific. The more you look at it, the worse it gets. It definitely robbed him of a podium position there as well. Absolutely killed him. And the irony is, the person that got hit the most wasn't even him. He was just a late arrival to the carnage. And yeah, less said about that, the better. Anyway, so Wiggy leads the way. He's back out in the lead. Done a really, really good job. Fastest lap, 15.9 for him. Bandit with a 16.4. He's got that Viper dialed in. And I do want to extend some thanks to Bandit, actually, because we've been looking at, as those of you know, we've been looking at branching Black Flag out into a number of different external tournaments. So, you know, we've got the stuff we do internally, but we're focusing now more on putting teams out into the world and doing stuff outside of Black Flag. And for the elite, something for the sort of better, longer term, more consistent drivers to go and do on a regular basis. And Bandit has found us a great little series of endurance races, which he was getting involved in, and has got us involved in that. I'm in talks with the guys that run that now, and we'll be doing a number of those this year, alongside GT Champions, GTFusion, the Wolfsman Racing Porsche Cup. We've got, of course, the sort of standard other stuff that comes up along the way. There's also, if you're interested, there's a Formula 2 tournament that we're doing in joint conjunction with Late Night Racing, F1. It's sort of just like a series of one-off Formula 2 tournaments in the lead up to the release of Formula F1 2023 update to F1 2022. But we'll talk more about that later. So, Wiggy leads the way by 6.6 seconds. Bandit opening up a bit of a gap from Aussie with 2.5. We could have two great podium finishes, and two podium finishes people don't ordinarily finish on the podium. That's the best thing about it. Aussie Rooster running in third place, 2.8 seconds is the gap currently. Then it's 5 seconds back to Stormfly, who initially led this race. He went in early trying for an undercut, and it just hasn't worked out for him. And another, I could say surprise. He's not surprised. You know, Chris has been around for a while. He's running in the top 5. I have a feeling that those guys that flit around the back of the pack, that are performing quite well here, are going to quite like this format in the long run. Grid Trooper's running in 5th. He has just lost out, or is he? No, he's hanging it around the outside, and TJ cannot get that Lambo ahead of him, and he has to concede, and Grid stays in 5th place. We've got about 6 minutes of this race left, which means we're looking at probably only a few more laps, probably 4 or 5 more laps here. TJ running in 6th place, 8.4 seconds ahead of G-Mac, who just can't seem to dial in any sort of consistent fast times. 1:17.1, 1:17.6, but nowhere near what the guys out in front are chucking in. Willard 4.1 seconds behind. He's ahead of Avalon, and he's ahead of Rob, and he's ahead of Manxman. And Willard, very, very new to us. I've known Graham for some time. You know, it's not. I've known him longer outside GT than I've known him inside GT. It's good of him to join us. You know, we talked about it some time ago about him coming in and getting involved. We spent a lot of time involved in real world sport and football together. Yeah, he used to race real cars for a living, real MGs. And now he's doing in the digital world, where it's, to be fair, significantly cheaper and significantly safer, significantly warmer. Don't know if it's more exciting, but I imagine it's certainly easier to get involved with, as Avalon just puts that 4.58 up into 8th place. Bear in mind he did have that spin early on, which cost him so much time. There is Rob, 24 seconds back. But, more interestingly, he's 12 seconds up from Manxman. Now, Manxman is usually quicker than this, but I have a feeling he's using his VR. Sick kid, it's about bloody time. You kind of came and then you disappeared. So, yes, you need to get back. We've got some really cool stuff coming up. You need to get involved, buddy, especially if you want to get involved in some of the outside tournaments as well. But, yes, welcome back when you do arrive back with us. Yeah, I think Manxman is using his VR, which is probably slowing him down a little bit. It kind of changes your perspective. You have to kind of almost relearn to drive with the VR. But the more and more I see it, the more I'm getting sold on the potential idea of it. Although I don't have £550 to spend on virtual reality, unfortunately. But that's my own problem for having too many children. Right, 9 seconds clear is Wiggy right now, absolutely dominating this race. And this is what I said about it just being about right car and track combos at the right time for the right person, and why I think this particular tournament of Gauntlet is going to be an incredibly popular one. And I mean this in the best way possible. I think this really suits the kind of the less elite drivers than it does the top drivers, because the top drivers can go out and they can do 10, 11, 12, 13, 15, 20 laps, you know, a week before an event, and build up that muscle memory and get faster and faster and faster. What this allows everyone to do is start on an even playing field. So you don't, as you know, those drivers that pick up that kind of thing better don't gain an advantage. So everybody goes into it with the same kind of impetus, and then we'll see. Listen, my kids have long since gone from being important. It just they cost a lot of money, mate. That's the problem. In this day and age, anyway, they do. Right, so yeah, Wiggy absolutely dominating here at high speed video. I can't wait to see what track comes up next on the randomizer. Bandits, brilliant performance from him. Listen, I'm happy to stand corrected, but I think this is actually his first podium at Black Flag, and certainly his first podium since he became a full-time Black Flag member. He was with our friends at VRC for a while. No, and nothing. I think VRC are great. I love VRC. I love all the guys there, especially Thingy. If you're watching, how you doing, Thingy? And Koi Carp. You love those guys. But you know, he came across to us for a bit and kind of flitted between the two. Recently, kind of joined us on a more permanent basis, and yeah, very, very welcome. And this will be a very welcome podium place for Bandits. 8.2 seconds is the gap back to Aussie, who's going to get the podium he deserved in the GR4 lottery. The podium that probably cost him a top 3 as well. And I still I still have flashbacks about taking you out of that race. Listen, we've only got 1 minute 10 seconds left, so essentially one more lap, but Stallfly is closing, and I don't want to commentate a curse this, so I'm going to move straight on. 3 seconds back to Grizz Troopers, running in 5th place, and he's got a decent 1.3 second gap over TJ right now, whose strength lies in endurance racing, not the sprint kind of stuff. In terms of fuel and tyres, well, I'm not going to bother showing it to you guys, you don't need to see it, but suffice to say that nobody really looks in trouble. There's Willard there running behind Avalon, 3.5 seconds, 10 seconds up from GMAC, who, yeah, no, should be alright by now. Should be alright to the end of this. Clear to go's got plenty. Manxman back in 11th place got plenty as well in the Ferrari 458. So we just flip back to Wiggy in time to see him cross the line for the first win of these 3 races here. Not going to be so quick to update these ones because it takes a bit of time when you've got 3 races within one, and I've got to update the tracks and stuff as well. So there we go. There he goes. He crosses the line. He gets another lap. No one else will. Bandit will cross the line. He will take second. That's the checkered flag for Bandit in second. Aussie, well-deserved podium. 3rd place for him. He takes the checkered flag as well. There he goes in 3rd place. Well done, Aussie. Stormfly couldn't catch him. He comes home in 4th. TJ just nicks it from Grizz Troopers on the line. So close. Avalon Shadow comes home in 7th. TJ and Chris was so close there. Man, that was a photo finish. There comes Avalon Shadow across in 7th place. Typical trademark spin. Willard home in 8th place ahead of G to the Mac, the Gary Mac. Everybody loves him because he's back. Back in the pits usually, to be fair. 16 seconds clear. And there he goes. 9th place for him. 10th for Manxman. And it looks like Rob had a bit of an issue. Manxman managed to nick 10th on that final lap. He'll come home. Where's Wiggy? Wiggy will be there soon. There's Wiggy just behind Clear to Go. So actually we're going to see Wiggy. Can we get there? Here he goes. Wiggy will cross the line. He will win this race just lapping Rob. But, you know, good performance there all round. And Rob crossed the line in 11th place. Great performance from all of them. Great. Really close. That was really, really close racing. Absolutely love that. Let me just save and screenshot these results so I can update them properly later. And there we go. Right. So we're going to go to Mins for next. Reverse grid. I've got keyboard right, right? I've actually got plugged in. I should probably just use that. So there we go. Race number 1 done. We're going to go back to
How dare you?
yeah, how dare you indeed. I forgot to give that to Stormfly, to Wiggy. Right, so we're going to go back to this page here. Because this stuff is new, it isn't actually on the stream deck yet, so I've got to do it manually. Most of the stuff is on there now, but this isn't because it's brand new. No, my drum roll's not working. Why is my drum roll not working? I've got a drum roll specially for this, and it's not working, and it's really upsetting me. It shouldn't really, should it? Anyway, so we're just, yeah, quick 2-minute break. Oh, Rob's disappeared. I'm hoping he's coming back, of course. So I'm going to cover that over so no one can see what is going on behind it. I can tell you that I know exactly what's going on behind it. Oh my days, this is going to be absolutely insane. I can tell you that now, it's going to be insane. Yeah, so we will, yeah, give them a couple of minutes to come back. Back in 20 seconds. Hello, hello, hello. I know it's still spinning. I'm hiding what's behind it. I know what's behind it. And I'm just waiting a couple of minutes for... Yeah, I suppose I could show you, couldn't I? You're not going to get that much time to practice because I'll sat in the room afterwards. Right, you ready? We ready for this? Should we do the drum roll? I don't know if my drum roll's working. Do you know what, Jason, I think this is brilliant. I think this is probably one of the best ideas we've ever had. And ironically, it came from GMAC. Press the button, press the button, press the button. All right, let's do it. You ready? Boom. That's what we got. It's the GR1s at Interlagos. Tyre wear rate is ×9. Fuel wear is ×3. Basically, your tyres, if you use the softs, are going to last you about a lap, if you're lucky. Time of day twilight. This is going to be insane. Insane. There we go. Right, shall we get the lobby set up and ready to go? Let's do that. Take me a couple of minutes to do that anyway. Right, so edit event settings. We need to change that because it is now just going to be practice and race. The track will be Interlagos. Talk amongst yourselves while I find the track, of course. We could probably sort this out so I need practice in the endurance race, don't I? We could probably sort this out so somebody else does a lobby when the thing pops up, but that would be rubbish. Weather CO2, so it's going to be cloudy. You've only got old cars. They're going to be pretty shit on tyres, aren't they? Although they're going to be pretty darn quick. Once you get out of what's it called? That little turn at the bottom, Juncal, and head up that straight, you're going to be super, super, super quick. Twilight, variable speed will leave the same. That will be. I have to set this by host, won't I? Because it's reverse grid. Everything else should be the same other than GR1. Boom Shanker. Only 9, yeah. I haven't done that yet. I'm going to do that right now. Where is it? I've only set it from 1 to 10 to be fair. I could have been really cruel and set it from 1 to 50, but I didn't. I've set it it's only a maximum of 1 to 10. I think anything more than that's a little bit insane. Right, there we go. That's that and that and that and that and that done. That's all of that done. That's all of that done. Right, Boom Shanker. Change event settings. Once you've all ticked in, I will set the grid. Should probably find my phone. It's around here somewhere. Oh, there it is. And then I can actually bring the grid up on my phone. Don't you just love the extreme level of professionalism that goes on here? It's almost like you picked up the yellow pages and phoned the consummate professional and said, can we get someone that's really, really good at this? And then they said, actually, there's only Andy available. Essentially, that's what happened. Right, so if it's reverse grid, I should probably look at the other page first, shouldn't I? Right, it's all ticked in. Who are we missing? Who are we missing? Are we missing someone? Well, I can start setting the grid now anyway until they turn up. Starting grid. I'll work out who we're missing when I've done this, won't I? So, Rob will be on pole. Then it will be Manx. Then it will be a GMAC. Then, if I bring this up fast, I can work it out. Then will be Willard. Oh, Willard's not coming back. Well, we'll wait and see if he does. If he does, oh, maybe he hasn't got a GR1. I didn't actually think of that. Where are we? So, yeah, Willard's not back to Avalon. I didn't actually consider if he's got, if he's actually got a GR1 or not, because he's relatively new to the game. You'd have thought he'd have one by now, right? Then TJ. Then we've got Stormfly. That's right. Then Aussie. There he is. Then Bandit. Then Wiggy. There we go. Oh, Willard is coming back. Awesome. He's gone and bought himself a car and returned. Just wait for him to tick in, then we'll add him to the grid as soon as he's ticked in, of course. I'm not changing my car because I'm not going out on track. I'm just waiting for Willard to finish initialising and to tick in, and then we can get cracking. This is going to be, I'll tell you what, it's going to be awesome for those really good at saving fuel. Right, it's ticked in. Let's just set the grid there then. Starting grid, and Willard will be, he's just grid. He needs to move up to, so he's behind Avalon, so that he'll start in front of Avalon. There we go. Right, grid set. Let's have this. Everyone's ticked in. Let's go. Race number 2. Let's see how this one pans out. If the first race was anything to go by, this is going to be awesome. Really, really looking forward to this. Let's get back into the right page. So on the verge of darkness, of course. Turn that off. We don't need that. And we'll have a look and see who's gone for what. So there's 2 lights. That's 3. That's 4. After this one, they go out, and there was a false start by someone there. Away they go. And everyone away pretty clean. How's it going to look as they go into the Centre S? And it's Rob ahead of everyone at the minute. And there's a little bit of touchy-feely through the Centre S. But everyone looks to be through clean. No one's facing in the wrong direction. So good, clean start from everybody. TJ, though, 3-second penalty. Who did he wallop into a wall? Was it on 4-second penalty for Wiggy? What happened there? So a couple of people walloping other people, and well, TJ's got damage on both sides. He's absolutely got melted, and there's damage on the front of Aussie. So who has gone for what size? 2-second penalty for Willard as he starts to drop down the order. Rob's gone for the medium. In fact, nobody has gone. Oh, actually, other than Bandit. Bandit's gone for the soft compound tyres. Now, I know it's ×9, but that actually might not necessarily be a bad idea, because you want to get early grip, make as many places as possible early on. But, yeah, this is going to be an interesting race in the GR1s around here. So, clear to go. Rob leads the way. He is 2 tenths up from GMAC. And GMAC's going to have to pit for tyres and fuel at the end of this lap, because that's what GMAC does. I don't know if I've told the story. No, of course I told the story. First day we met GMAC when he joined the group who should not be named, and he joined in a race. This is actually, I remember things like this, but I don't remember like things like who started the race or who qualified where. But he joined us at a race at Monza, and I think everybody else 3 stopped, and he 5 stopped that race. It was ridiculous, absolutely nuts. He 5 stopped a 3-stop race, and every time he made his way back up into the top 3, and then had to stop again and dropped all the way down the order. But he takes the lead here at Interlagos, and he's already starting to pull a gap on Rob, who's holding his own at the moment, lap 2, holding his own in 2nd place. Avalon up to 3rd. Certainly a better race for him. He just needs to keep that car pointing in that direction if he wants to have a go. Absolutely has to. And he's looking around Rob, makes the move, up he goes into 2nd. Rob getting a little bit squirrely. He drops down to 3rd place. Here comes Stormfly. Stormfly looking to try and make a move himself now. GMAC and Avalon disappearing off up the road. But it's 2.7 seconds. Stormfly's biggest problem isn't catching Rob. It's keeping away from Bandit, who he's on those soft compound tyres. And I've got to show you this because the tyres and fuel are obviously awful.
Everybody strap in!
That's what they look like already. And we're only on lap 2. It's a high tyre wear. Now I could extend the tyre wear out to 50, the fuel out to 50, but that would be ridiculous, in my opinion. So I've left it as a minimum from 1 to 10. I think that's more than sufficient for our needs. Manxman's having a better race here, although Grizz Troopers just making the move on him up into 6th place, and Manx in 7th, and everyone looking really cool here. It's twilight, so it's going into a darkness. There's Willard. He is running in 7th place. Love these Group 1 cars. They're just so cool looking, cool to drive. Really awesome, particularly in the dark. Someone's got a yellow flag. Is Avalon facing the wrong way? This time, no, it's not. Clear to go. Still running in 3rd. He's got a half-second penalty to serve though. So those penalty servers, Wiggy, he's back in 8th place. He's got Grizz Troopers only barely ahead of him, and he's trying to find a way through. Can't as yet. Grizz just holding him off, looking around the outside every time. Can he make the move this time into this final little twisty section here? Grizz Troopers under braking, holding off on the inside line. Wiggy again can't make the move. He's got the inside here though as they head down to Juncal, and this is where he really can pull away. So into Juncal, into that braking zone, up on the apex, on the power. How much closer can he get to Rob as Willard moves up into the top 5 and Manx into the top 4, and Bandit's having an absolutely wonderful day today. If we look back to Saturday where he had an awful race and finished plumb last, if this is the polar opposite for him, he must be laughing like a school kid at Christmas right now. Stormfly, not so much. He's at the back of the pack. He's on the hard compound tyres. He's 5 seconds back from TJ. That can't be a pleasurable place to be. And TJ at the moment battling with Aussie, the Oz Rooster. He's just winning out as well, so Aussie tucked in behind him. But this race isn't over between these two. It is hard tyres for Aussie. 3.5 second penalty. The penalties are getting chucked out all over the place here. And that was Willard's had a mistake. That was what the yellow flag was for. He's dropped out of that top 5 now. He's down to 10th position. So lots of work for him to do from this stage. A little bit of damage on the front. There's Stormfly on the hard tyres. Willard running on those mediums. It's Aussie Rooster, 3.5 second penalties on the hard tyres. And that penalty is going to cost him probably all of those places. Another, and that's clear to go. He's clearly crashed because you can't see him. He's dropped down the order. He's down to 11th place. Yeah, that's what the yellow flag was. There's another yellow flag though. Who's that for? It's not Stormfly, it's not Willard, it's not Aussie. Although he will be serving his penalty now. That was Manxman going pretty slowly there. So they look to have closed up on him. Maybe that was who the yellow flag was for. Then 6.4 seconds up to TJ. He's kind of separated himself from those shenanigans behind now and off after Grizz Troopers, who runs currently in that top 5. And he is 5.3 seconds behind Wiggy. He just put in the fastest sector and currently has the fastest lap of the race. 2.2, 1.6, 1.2, 1 second. He's really closing on Bandit. It looks like Bandit had a really bad lap there because he's starting to really close on him. And the gap to the front 2 at the moment, devastatingly large, as Wiggy makes that move on Bandit up into the top 3. It's a 10.8 second gap up to Gary the G-Mac, who is sticking with Avalon's shadow out front. When he keeps the car facing in the right direction, Avalon does a fabulous job racing. And this absolutely plays into his hands. With his tyre and fuel saving ability, he really doesn't like using tyres or fuel to any kind of stretch. And he'll really be enjoying himself now because he can, with a ×9 depletion on the tyres, he can sit there and really look after his tyres and stay out that little bit longer. He's running on the mediums, looking not too bad. G-Mac's running also on the mediums, looking a little bit worse, both on tyres and fuel. And bear in mind that Avalon's got the hybrid power as well, which helps. Bandit into the pits. He did start on those soft compound tyres. I'm sure he'll put on something a little bit more robust for the second stint. Wiggy's also on the soft compound tyres, ironically. He's going to have to pit. If he doesn't pit this lap, he certainly will be pitting on lap 7 for something a little bit more robust. 5.1 seconds back to TJ, who's got his way into 4th. And 6.1 seconds clear of the Grizz Troopers. Anthony running 6 seconds back. He's on the hard tyres, TJ on the hard tyres. Do they last to the end of this race? The fuel certainly won't. So what I imagine will happen is they will run the fuel down till it's empty, and then just for that last stint of the race, just whack on some soft compound tyres. So this could get really interesting for the hard tyre runners towards the end. Stormfly up to 5th now, he's past Grizz Troopers. He's on the hard tyres as well, going really well. And again, this is one that could be an interesting look in for a potential run at top 3 later on in the race. As well as Troopers, Willard is on the medium compound tyres, but looking after the fuel quite well. I said that in a really surprising tone, like he doesn't know what he's doing. But no, he's looking after it quite well. He's running well in 7th place at the moment, 1.9 seconds back from Grizz Troopers. But good couple of laps left before he has to start thinking about tyre change. And actually, with a bit of fuel saving, could potentially take this to the end of the race, you know. It is possible. The fuel wear makes it possible to take this to the end of the race if you're smart. And I'll tell you who is being really smart, and that's Manxman. He is definitely going to be able to do this race without stopping. That could be quite telling. Where is Bandit? Where did Bandit come back out? That'd be quite interesting. Bandit came back out in 11th place. There's Rob. He's another one that could potentially make this to the end of the race. I think his medium tyres are going to be pretty ropey when it comes to crossing the finish line, but he could potentially stay out there. 4.6 seconds he's ahead of Aussie. Aussie is really already on the limit of running out of fuel. The problem is he's in that really, really old classic car, but let's be fair, that is a beautiful, beautiful Porsche. That Rothman's Porsche is gorgeous. I know it doesn't actually say Rothman's on it, but it is a Rothman's Porsche. It does say Rothman's on the wing. Man can spot Rothman from a mile off. And talking of fags, it's the 6th of March. I've now been cigarette free for over 90 days. And on 100 days, I'm going to buy myself a packet of fags to celebrate. Bandit is 2.9 seconds at the back, but he's had his pit stop. He can run to the end of this race now on those mediums. I think he's going to catch 2 or 3 people. So Wiggy into the pits. He's heading out, but he's lost some places. He will come out just behind Manxman. We know Manxman can potentially run, certainly on fuel wise, he can run to the end here. Avalon Shadow, 17 seconds clear. I'm a little bit worried about his tyres till the end, but fuel he doesn't have to worry about. He can literally dive into the pits, whack on some softs, and fuck off back out again. And I really think Avalon is dominating here, absolutely dominant. And this is why I think this series is going to be utterly, utterly brilliant, because the top 3 here are different from the top 3 in the last race. The last 3 are different. In fact, everyone is just spread out over the racetrack in a completely different connotation. This is going to be an awesome, awesome little series. And I don't know that we're just going to stick at 5 races, you know. I think we could stretch this out a little bit longer, but we'll see. Listen, week 2 could go horribly wrong. We could have some really, really bad setups, and people get really pissed off and never come back. But I think this will have a full lobby next week. I think anybody that watches this will be a full lobby next week. Mark my words. TJ running really well in 2nd place. Again, he's pushing the boundary a little bit of tyre wear, fuel wear, but I think tyre wear he might be okay. But he's 17 seconds back from Avalon, which is going to be a big, big ask. Stormfly in 3rd. Another one potentially I think he can take it to the end actually. He's capable of looking after his tyres and his fuel a little bit. He can certainly make it to the end. It's going to be touch and go though. 4.5 seconds back is GMAC. He doesn't have to worry about saving anything. He can push, as Wiggy puts it, a 1:21.0. That's a superb lap. But GMAC in the Mao, and he had to be in a Mazda. As soon as the opportunity presented himself, In he gets into that European Mazda and whips that around the track, but he's 4.1 seconds back from the top 3 right now. Is 3.8 seconds ahead of Willard, who's running fabulously in 5th place. And you know, I sung his praises in race number 1. I'm going to sing him again in race number 2 because he's so new to Black Flag and so new to Gran Turismo 7 as well, that you've got to be really impressed with his performances. He's just getting better and better and better. And I actually think in the Evo versus WRX last time out with Fubar, I think him and Fubar could have quite easily finished 1-2, or certainly in the top 5 together, had it not been for the little coming together. So the improvement in him has been very palpable. But it just goes to show that, you know, he's driven race cars for real life, for reals. It's his thing, so he knows what he's doing. But running currently in 5th position, and he's 2.3 seconds clear of Wiggy. Wiggy's just putting in super quick laps, lap after lap after lap, as GMAC takes the fastest lap of the race with a 1:20.9. So his intentions are clear. He wants top 3. Wiggy though, solid 21's pretty much his best kind of lap as he puts in another purple sector. 14 minutes, just 6 minutes left of this race, which at these kind of lap times is 4 laps. So lap 14, maybe lap 15. Remember in the last race, Wiggy, as he makes that move, or Willard diving into the pits, of course. He makes that move up into 5th position. Manxman 7.5 seconds back, starting to ramp up his times. He's on the VR, of course, which we're glad to see does no longer have an effect in the lobbies. He is 9 seconds clear of Grizz Troopers, who also gets through into 7th place. Bandit, such a great performance in the last race. But this just goes to show Aussie and Bandit had great performances in the last race, not so much this time out. I'm just gonna fucking lose my voice, man. 2.3 seconds clear of Willard. He is ahead of Grizz Troopers by 2.5, and sorry, he's ahead of Aussie by 2.5. As Avalon does go up into pits, we knew he'd need to. Aussie should. I think he's going to have to pit just for a little blast of fuel. Rob, at the back of the pack there, he's got loads of fuel, he's got loads of tyre, but he is 18.5 seconds back. So TJ takes the lead of this race. He's going to have to pit himself. He can't go to the end here, but he is going to be in a quite a unique position. So here comes Avalon. Where's GMAC? There's GMAC. He's just coming through the centre S now. Does he get ahead of Avalon? He comes round, you can see that there's Avalon coming out of the pits. That's a great shot. GMAC takes 2nd place. Avalon dives out of the pits, just 1 second behind. But remember, GMAC is up to speed going into turn 4. And he just holds a gap at 1.3 seconds. But Avalon, remember, is on very fresh soft tyres. GMAC is on worn mediums, which is just going to make it a little bit harder to get that LM55 out of the cars, out of the corners even with the traction. There's Avalon. He's going really well here. He's in the, that's the of course it's a Porsche. Silly question, of course. Running in 3rd place. One too many on. He is 5.7 ahead of Stormfly, who is making a valiant attempt to make it to the end of this race. But I think it's going to be futile. He's got a 1 second penalty. He's got Wiggy crawling all over him, who's just done a 1:19.2. He's about to come and do another quick lap up into 4th place as Stormfly serves his penalty. He's going to head down to the line. Is this quicker? No, it's not. In fact, it's a hell of a lot slower. But he is now just 6.3 seconds back from another podium finish. Stormfly 1.5 back. He's gonna surely, if it's gonna take a monumental effort now to make it to the end of this race. Look, he's 23 seconds clear of Manxman, and I think Manxman's tyres are screaming at him, "Change me! Change me!" But he doesn't give a shit. He's just driving along and he's enjoying himself. And the first you'll know about them tyres proving why they need to be changed is when he goes in first. Assuming that happens. Willard, he's been in the pits. He's 4.7 seconds back. With the state of Manxman's tyres, if Manxman stays out, I think he's going to get caught. If he goes in, he's going to get caught. He might as well go in, put on some soft tyres and have a go, Manx, because he's going to get caught by Willard. He's going to get caught by... Well, I say he's going to get caught by Bandit, but I think Bandit is in quite a difficult position as well. You can see there from the tyre and fuel data that he is struggling a little bit, or at least will be by the time we hit this stage in a lap's time. It's not going to be super easy for him. 10.7 back is to Aussie, who definitely will need to pit soon. I think he's trying to hold out to the end, but it's valiant, I'll give him that, but I think it may be bordering on stupidity to try and do another lap. Although, I mean, he could be full lap 6 now, just think, fuck it, I'm not stopping. 5.2 back to Rob. He's on the soft tyres. He's got plenty of fuel. He can push. If Aussie has any kind of issue with running out of fuel or any kind of spin, then Rob is going to sail through. But he's actually looking relatively racy at the back there. Grizz Troopers, he's running the medium tyres rather than the softs to the end, which is strange. But 7.4 seconds back from Rob. He's going to need Aussie to have a brain fart. Okay, so TJ is trying to hang this out there to the end of the race. It's going to cost him first place because tyres, ropey, fuel, even ropier. He's going to have to really hold back for the last lap. And here comes Avalon. He takes the lead here on what will be the end of the penultimate lap, lap 14. They will both cross the line. There goes Avalon into lap 15. There goes TJ. Wiggy 5 seconds back. He should make a 15th lap as well, and he does. G-Mac should also get there, as should Stormfly. So Stormfly's still got an opportunity to catch G-Mac. Willard, 28 seconds back. He's going to finish in 6th position, 28 seconds back from Stormfly. So Avalon, TJ, Wiggy, G-Mac and Stormfly, on they go. And TJ's in a very precarious position. You couldn't be more precarious if you were tied face down to a bed and as your cellmate was approaching you with a massive floppy cock. Willard in 6th place, Manxman in 7th, Bandit will come home in 8th place, 10.3 seconds back. There he goes. Clear to go, Rob, 10.1. Aussie is getting closer, but I think Aussie's struggling with fuel. He slowed right down. Aussie's going to lose 10th place. Through goes Grizz Troopers to steal that 10th place from Aussie. Just couldn't drag the car round to the end, and he'll limp across that line. Will he limp across the line before this guy takes the checkered flag? Avalon Shadow takes the checkered flag. TJ comes back behind. He did make it last, only just. 1.5 seconds clear of Wiggy, who comes home in another top 3. There's G-Mac, makes it in 4th place. And Stormfly, with the no stopper, will come home in 5th place. Boom Shanker. That's another awesome race. Love it. Absolutely love this format. I can't think of anything better than this format. Let's do another screenshot. We'll get that one done. And we'll move on to that one and get that one done. I will update the results. I'll probably do it tomorrow, to be fair. I can't be asked to do it tonight. I will do it tomorrow because it's a little bit more work. So I think I'm going to give everyone a 5-minute break before I do the next roll. So everyone go for a fag. How about that? So a little 5-minute break. We'll recommence at 9:16. How about that? Back very shortly. am back in the room. I tell you what. Let's jump across to that. I'm going to roll it. I was messing around with it and see what rolled out. I'll tell you what, a real doozy did just roll out, to be fair, but it's only fair if I roll a brand new one, of course, which I will do right now. Oh my days. There are some that are going to be incredibly pleased with this, and some that are going to absolutely cry their eyes out, I think. That's my opinion. We will see. We will see. Just wait for everyone to get back. We'll give it another minute for everyone to get back, and we'll see how this turns out for everybody, how they feel about it. Right, okay. So we will go drum roll, please. And boom shanker. Kyoto, Yamagiwa and Miyabi in the GR2s. Tyre wear is 1. Fuel rate is 5. It'd be sunny weather, late morning. Nice, a nice easy race, I think. A nice easy race. Right, so last one. One more we've got. Oh, we might have to go shopping. One more. Send. Right, let's redo the lobby with the new settings. I need to start racing. Edit event settings. So we are at Kyoto. Got to find it first. Where is it? Where is it? Where is it? I can never find the bloody tracks. You think the amount of time I spend on this game, I'd be able to find them easily, wouldn't you? And it's Yamagiwa and Miyabi. 20 minutes, and it's S19. Oh, S16. I think there's an S19. Oh, it must be. S16, hazy with a few clouds. All that is the same. That is the same. That is the same. Tyre wear is down 2 times 1. Fuel rate is down. Is up 2 times 5. We'll leave the refuel at that. Filter by category, GR2. I don't think there's anything else we need to put on. Wiggy's Wiggler, of course it is. Wiggy's Wiggler. How can we forget Wiggy's Wiggler? Once everyone's checked in, I will update the thingy jiggity. I hope someone looked at the leaderboard last time out, because I didn't. Awesome! How's that? It keeps it for you. So that means I should just be able to go reverse grid, right? So could I just do this then, if it's kept that information? And just go. I'm going to try it. I'm going to go that. That's done it, hasn't it? Edit event settings. No, slowest first. Change event settings is what I need to do. So it should potentially save that for me, shouldn't it? So I don't have to set it by host. I hope I haven't broke the lobby now. I think I broke the lobby, haven't I? That would be very, very... And that's alright. It would be very devastating if I had, but I think we're alright. Let's jump back to the lobby so you can see what I can see, which is that. Everyone ticking in. I think we're good. Who are we missing? Stormfly's in, Wiggy's in, Avalon's in, GMAC is in, Manx Man, Bandit, Aussie, Willard, Grizz, Clear go. We are missing... I'm not very good at remembering who's on the racetrack, am I? I really should. TJ, where's TJ? Oh, there here he comes. Here he comes, the little bell end. Welcome back, my friend. Welcome back. Let's do a quick ready check. And then we'll crack on. Everyone's ticked in. That's enough for me. If they're not ready, it's their problem. Here we go. Now it should have set them in the correct order with slowest first. We're about to find out. If it didn't, then I've learnt something significant and we'll sort it out next time. No, it hasn't. Oh well. So it doesn't do it automatically. Oh well, I'm not going to reset the lobby. We'll go like this. I've learnt a valuable lesson for next time, haven't I? Apologies for that, guys. That's 2 lots. That's 3. That's 4. That's 5. They'll go out, and away we go. GR2's here. It's at Kyoto in Yamagiwa and Miyabi. It's the full Kyoto track. Stormfly lead from Wiggy, from TJ from Bandit. Avalon, I was going to say from GMAC, but Aussie making that move on GMAC up into 6th. And looking to make a move up the inside of Avalon. Doesn't make that stick though. Willard in 7th. He's right up behind Aussie. He's got GMAC behind him. GMAC dropping down the order. Not looking good for GMAC. He's picked up a penalty. And Manxman having a little go at him. Manxman up into 8th place. GMAC dropping to 9th. Who's next to pick him up? Is Grizz Troopers going to catch him? And that is Grizz Troopers. And clear to go in a wall. And I'm sorry, boys.
You can't park that there, mate.
Yeah, they both absolutely melted that wall. Anyway, moving on. So it is Stormfly leads from Wiggy. Wiggy leads from TJ. TJ from Bandit, and it's only half a second. Then half a second to Avalon. 7/10 to Aussie Rooster. And Willard up in 7th. And they're all on the soft compound tyres, as they will be. Fuel is the issue here. The tyres are going to be absolutely fine. Not going to have a problem with tyres. Tyres wear rate is ×1. Fuel wear rate is ×5. So we're going to see them pitting probably around the midway point of this race. There or thereabouts. Right, so let's do an onboard. You know, we haven't done an onboard for ages. And this is the home of Wiggy's Wiggler. Or is that just in Yamagiwa? I can't remember now. That's just in Yamagiwa. I think it is just. I think it's only in Yamagiwa. I don't think we get it when we do both. I think that's the problem when it's both, is that Yamagiwa is not, Wiggy's Wiggler is a combination of where the 2 tracks meet. So here we go. This is a lap. Let's do another lap on board. We haven't done an onboard lap today. So this is an onboard lap. We're in the GR2 cars. And we head down. This is where you cross the line. Start finish line is different for the 2 tracks. This is the Yamagiwa start finish line, which they use for the big one and the medium-sized track. Round this left-hander, and then you've got this kind of wiggly wobbly S section, which takes you down for another straight N sector 2 as you head down here, and then you've got another sweeping left-hander ahead of you, which you just kind of clip the apex. You don't really have to change down a gear or slow down. You just make sure you use all the road correctly. Then you head down, and this is where Wiggy's Wiggler would normally dive off to that left-hand side, but you don't. You go round to the right and into the Miyabi course, and this is the last couple of turns of Miyabi, and you're basically going in the opposite direction around Miyabi now. This will take you round to the left-hand side. Normally you would come in the other direction. You can do this in reverse, of course, but usually you take this track in the other direction. Then this sweeping left-hander, which is a little bit quicker on this connotation, is the other way around. And then this will be the start finish line, and you can do it at Miyabi, we have not. Wiggy's Wiggler again is there. This is the rest of it. This is the second part of Wiggy's Wiggler, as it takes you up the hill, and then you sweep round towards the end of sector 4, I think this is. And then another This is a big switchback left hander, to be fair. This one you've got to take in first gear to get that rotation before you get on the power and head up the hill. You've got a little jink to the right where you let off the power a touch before you drop round to that right hand side after dropping down in gear, sorry, left hand side, dropping down in gear. Then you've got one big right hander that takes you in to the start finish straight, and that is a lap around Kyoto, Yamagiwa and Miami. There we go, lap done. And that was with Stormfly, who currently leads Wiggy by 0.8 of a second. A 2-minute lap. So with 20 minutes here, it's a 10-lap race. Essentially, that easy to work out. Math, not just for Rachel Riley. And for those of you who don't know who Rachel Riley is, Google her, she's fit. I'm acutely aware I'm a very misogynistic man. I'll probably come across as well, but I'm not actually really good at that. I just like 4 seconds back his Bandit. I tell you what, credit to Bandit, he's had an absolute stonking day today. He was probably helped out a little bit by a slightly favourable pit grid because for some, I don't know why, it's for some reason he should have just done it slow his first, but he didn't. So I should have set my host, and I do apologise to everyone. I didn't do that, but lesson learned for next time, eh? Bandit leading 1.9 seconds from Avalon's Shadow. There he is 2.1 seconds back from Bandit. He's giving up 1.7 seconds to TJ. This is all about fuel. This is nothing about tyres. You can absolutely punish those racing soft tyres and worry about the fuel later down the line. 3 seconds back is man-to-man. He has got Willard crawling all over the back of him, actually. 0.7 of a second is the gap, and Willard is not giving this up in that GTR. That's a beautiful GTR. He's gone for a very cool livery on that GTR, actually. 4.8 seconds is the gap between him and Aussie Rooster, also in that GTR. That's my favourite GR2 car as well. Then it's a 19, so a 19-second gap, almost. Back to GMAC, not running too well in that Honda NSX, which I've been reliably informed is that the problem with this car isn't that it's slow or that it's difficult to control, it's that the throttle is either on or off. There is no there's no subtlety or nuance to the throttle pedal here. It is literally just all the way to the floor or no gas at all. And it does make it that makes it a difficult car to drive. But GMAC is doing okay, he's just improving his lap one after the other. We're on lap 3 here of what will be a 10-lap race around this race track. Grizz Troopers, that's a 4-second penalty. How hard did you have to hit somebody else to get a 4-second penalty? And that is the question. Wallpenny's not switched on, surely she shouldn't be, wasn't. He has absolutely melted a wall somewhere, or melted somewhere. Oh, no, I think he might have hit. Maybe he hit Grizz Troopers, or Grizz Troopers hit him, and that's why he was so invariably damaged. 49 seconds is the gap to Grizz Troopers. He has spent a significant amount of time crashed into a wall. So Stormfly leads the way, 2.5 seconds here. He's also gone for that NSX, which he's getting quite good performance out of. GTR 4 Wiggy, 2.9 seconds in fact back as they come round part 1 of Wiggy's Wiggler. This is his racetrack, and it is named because we did a reverse race around Yamagiwa, and he lost the back end on one of the laps a little bit around that corner. He did regain it, he didn't really lose too much time, but for some unbeknownst reason, Paul and I were on chat and we started naming the corners. We did have actually Bandit's Beak, which I think is this bit here that Willard's going into now. We call that Bandit's Beak. And then obviously and you will see Paul is back in action. He's back from his holidays in the United States. He will be joining us on Wednesday for another round of the OpenGR 3. Let's have a little run through of this week. It's a bit of a different week this week. So tomorrow we're the finale of Smoking Pirellis. It's the final round at Imola, and we will decide the champion tomorrow for their Tuesday league. Straight up after that is the opening round for the new late night racing season in Formula 1. And I can't remember what racetrack it's at, but really looking forward to that. And we actually have a little link up with late night racing. There is going to be a little joint venture F2 tournament starting in April, beginning of April. If you're interested, then you know what to do. You can find all the information, or you can ask me where it is, and I will send you in the right direction. We will come into the pits this lap, I imagine, to replace the fuel as Avalon. We'll also do the same thing, so we'll see where Stormfly ends up. Wednesday, that's where there's a little change. We've got the GR3, as you would normally expect. But then after that, we are broadcasting the first of 3 GR1 endurance races for Team High Prix. Team High Prix, you may well know as the team that Average Tom and Roses are in, but also from the sponsors of the Porsche Cup and being very heavily involved with everything GT Champions. And we're doing a little broadcast for them, and that'll be every fortnight on a Wednesday, every week on a Wednesday. And it's a little GR1 endurance series. Then Thursday, it is back with Smoking Pirellis for Thursday Tier 1, and I think I think this is the penultimate week for them in that Tier 1 series on Thursdays, and that'll be immediately followed by Black Flag Rivals WRX versus the Subaru WRX versus the Lancer Evolution, which is it could have been, look, don't get me wrong, it's not been an awful series, it's been quite good. It could have been so much better if the team thing had been the predominant factor. I think the only thing I regret about doing a kind of car versus car thing is that we didn't make it about the cars. We made it about people, and we made it about the cars. If we'd taken the people aspect out of it, I think it would have been a much closer competition. And you know, we'll do something like this again with some different cars, but maybe make it just about the cars. Who knows? We'll see. Maybe we'll never do it again, and we'll just be doing Gauntlet because this stuff is turning out to be awesome. Friday we're back with, of course, the Eurotrips F1, and then Saturday the Endurance Series with Staymare Endurance, which will be hosted by Jay this week. So that's it. That's a week here with Black Flag Racing TV. But we are 11 minutes into the third race here in GR. What? No, it's not GR. Nothing. It's the Gauntlet. It's the Black Flag Gauntlet. If you have skipped all the way through this video and you've just arrived at this point, this is what this race is all about. So we start at Northern Isle Racetrack, or whatever it's called, that stupid little oval. That's the first race you ever do in Gran Turismo 7. And we have all the cars open, we have no specific settings. And then when everyone's ticked in and ready to go, I randomise the settings. We pick the car, we pick the class of car, we pick the track, we pick the tyre, we pick the fuel, we pick the weather settings, and then we start straight away. There's no practice time, there's no messing around. We do a hot lap qualifying, and then we get cracking with the race, and it's a 20-minute race from there. We then have a little break in between. We then go again, we roll again. We find out what car we've got, we find out what track we've got, we find out what settings we've got. Then we have another go. That's done in a reverse grid. And then we go again, and usually that'll be done in a reverse grid. But stupid me, thinking that they might actually do an automatic reverse grid for you if you just click slowest first, very quickly realised that it's only slowest first if you actually do some qualifying. They don't just do slowest first from the last race. So woe is me for getting that wrong. But that's how this pans out. Wiggy, great win in race number 1, leading race number 2 from Stormfly at a top 3 in race number 2. Sorry, race number 3 is leading now. He had a top 3 in race number 2 at Interlagos. We've been at High Speed Ring in reverse. We've been at Interlagos. We're now at Kyoto and Yamagiwa. We have done the GR4 cars, we've done GR1, and now we are doing GR2. So sort of I would say at some point next week we'll roll in GR3s. But Wiggy leads just 6/10 up from Stormfly as we head into the final 3 laps of this race. Fastest lap with Stormfly 201.9. Avalon 7.9 seconds back, holding firm in that top 3. He's got Bandit 2.6 seconds behind him, who, if I did driver of the day, or we did driver of the day, would probably, for me, nab that, but I don't, so he won't. Suck it. 6 tenths to TJ, who's running in 5th place. Then there's a bit of a gap. It's 14.8 seconds back to Willagister. He is 9 seconds up from Manxman, who has been getting quicker. Is now using VR, and it's almost like learning to re-drive again, kind of. So yeah, his pace dropped off a little bit, but he is coming back up to pace again. 1.5 seconds back to my namesake, the Andrew Osler, Aussie Rooster. He's basically giving me but in Devon at the cycles. So actually it's nothing like me, just got the same first name. 13.5 seconds back to Gary Mack, named after mac and cheese. That's the truth as well. His surname is actually and Cheese. His first name is Gary and his middle name is Macintosh. Gary Macintosh and Cheese. And that's a fact. You can look it up. It's on his birth certificate. And if he tells you otherwise, he's lying. 12.3 seconds back to Grizz Troopers, the American driver, not having a very, very good race here at Yamaguwa. Is a lap down. Is he a lap down? No, he's just 1 minute to 28 seconds back from GMAC. Well, he can't surely be that. That can't be right. Oh, sorry. That's I'm looking wrong. He's 11 seconds back from GMAC. It is Rob that's having, well, you can say he's having the time of his life. He's not. He's having the complete opposite of the time of his life. He is struggling big time. 1.5 minutes back, and he's about to have to move over for Wiggy as they just come round the other half of he is now 5.3 seconds clear of Stormfly, who is not anywhere near it. So clearly it's the GTRs that have been very, very strong here. Wiggy very strong in the GTR. Look, the LSX is doing well for Stormfly, but he did start on pole because I fucked up. Avalon Shadow, he's in the GTR. Look, he's not a fan of these GR1 and GR2 cars. He loves a mid-engine, rear-wheel drive motor car. That's his thing. But, you know, to be fair, he's not doing too darn badly. TJ, he's in the, that's the Lexus, isn't it? It is indeed the Lexus RCF. Bandit is gone for the Lexus RCF as well. So actually the Lexus got one in the top 5. Willa G's gone for the GTR. Manxman's in the GTR as well. Aussie Rooster, and that is Rob. I don't know what he's doing, but Rob.
You can't park that there, mate.
I don't know what he's doing, but that's what he was doing. There is Aussie Rooster in the GTR as well. GMAC in the NSX, not really doing a great job here at all. Really struggling, to be fair. As we head into the penultimate lap for the front runners, Wiggy, still 6 seconds clear. This is lap 9. He will get one more lap after this to show off his prowess. And I think when the league tables, the dust settles, he will be firmly atop of the tree in the league tables. We're not going to give normal points for fastest lap or for pole position. It's just for race position. Actually, it's funny, actually, I was asked a question the other day that we don't really give out points for pole or fastest lap often. And I was asked why. And my response to that question is very simple. It's that the chances are that for the most part, particularly on GT7, it's slightly different on F1, and I've noticed it's different on a lot of the other racing games, but particularly on GT7, the people that get the pole position and fastest lap are generally the people that are already first or second, maybe third at a push. So they're already getting maximum points. By them also getting fastest lap point and pole position points, they're essentially running away from the rest of the field week in, week out. And it's generally, other than this, which I think is proving to be a much better format actually than the handicap format. I thought the handicap format would be a great leveler, but I think this actually is going to be a great leveler. It just kind of, if you've got the same person winning week in, week out, by awarding extra points for fastest lap and for pole position, you're essentially handing them the championship 3 or 4 weeks earlier, because it just opens up their gap so much quicker. That's why we don't do it. You know, maybe if the field gets a little bit closer, a little bit tighter, it's something we might look at in the future introducing. But, you know, everyone likes it so far. And I think, you know, at the moment we're doing 3 races a week, and I think that's pretty much, or 4 races a week at the moment. But I think 3 to 4 races a week is really the most we should be looking at doing. Probably, if not, dropping it down to just the 3, as we do more and more external championships. And of course, this month we've got the WSR Porsche Cup, we've got the start of the GTC World Cup, we've got the start of the GTFusion Team World Championships as well. Also, if you so wish, there is the qualifiers for the Olympics. I'd like to think that we've got some Olympic level drivers in. The chances are we probably do not. I mean, that's nothing against the guys here, but you're just not fucking quick enough, boys. That's the problem. You need to crack on with your practice. Basically, give up your full-time jobs and stay at home and practice until you get the Olympics. And then the team will take all the credit for your success, of course. So, Wiggy is leading the way. He's been super quick. He's trying to beat that fastest lap that Stormfly put in of a 2:01.9. His quickest lap was a 2:02.2. It's not far off, only 3/10 off that pace. As he comes into the last couple of sectors, this is the penultimate sector he's in now. He leads by 10.4 seconds. Consistency personified he's been. He's had a couple of bad laps. Let's not be too, self-appreciating. He's had a couple of bad laps, but it has generally not put a foot wrong. Stormfly, you can see where he's had like super quick laps, but he's not been able to match the consistency of the sort of 202s, 203s that Wiggy's been putting in. And he'll come round there. That's the penultimate corner. He's got one more corner to come round. This is the final corner of the race. He will come round here, breeze round that corner. Yellow flags for him. That's going to be someone that's dead. We'll scrape him off the road later. Wiggy crossed the line. That's 2 wins signal for Wiggy. And it's been a while since Wiggy's won a race. He wins 2 in 1 day. And that's revenge on Stormfly, because this time last week it was the other way around. Stormfly was winning. Stormfly in 2nd. Avalon comes home in 3rd. TJ home in 4th. Bandit, great performance from him today. As I said, if we did driver of the day, he would be it, but we don't, so he's not. 5th place for him. A good performance as well from Willard. Check him out up in that top 6. I like it, Picasso. 14 seconds back, he looks well chuffed. Don't fuck around there, because Max Man's coming. Across he goes in 6th place. Max Man is in 7th. Aussie Rooster comes over in 8th. G-Mac finished in 9th. Grizz Troopers in 10th. And Rob came home in 11th place. And Stormfly did get that fastest lap. So how about that then for a new racing series? That wasn't shit, was it? I'm going to screenshot these so I can update the results. These final results are Wiggy from Stormfly, Avalon, TJ Bandit, Willard, Manx, Aussie, G-Mac, Grizz Troopers, and Rob clear to go at the back of the pack. And I really like this series, and I have a feeling this is going to be incredibly popular. I'm going to speak to the guys in a bit and see what they feel about it, but I have a feeling they're going to like it too. So anyway, all that's left to say is thank you very much for joining. We're back tomorrow with firstly the final round with Smokey Pirellis. That should say round 9 Tuesday, Hungary. That should say round 10 Tuesday, Imola. I didn't update it because I'm a lazy kid. That's what I should have done. But thank you very much for joining me. I've been this has been Black Flag Racing TV. That has been the Black Flag Gauntlet. We're back next week for more of these shenanigans. It's been emotional.